The Bliss Retreat is only a retreat by name. It's actually a portal. A portal for the woman who's built the brands, got the degrees, and climbed the ladder. You've been everything for everybody, and if you look way back, it's been that way since forever. Everybody sees the powerhouse, the wins, and the shine. But behind that glow up, there's a constant ache that they don't see. There's a whisper in your spirit that's saying, I did all this and I still don't feel whole. Because you weren't really chasing the bag. You were chasing the feeling that you thought the bag would bring. But what your soul is craving can't be found in doing more, but in being her. You're ready for a life that feels as good as it looks. One where you lead with spirit and experience a deeper connection to source. If that's you, and you're ready to remember who you really are, then your portal just opened. Welcome to the Bliss Retreat. Hey, give me a second. You know, they got me trying out all of this new technology and stuff. So I'm always okay, good, we live. All right, hey, it is Thursday, a little after 7. I am Nekeya, the Savage Spiritualist, and this is my time that we pop in and just kind of chat. I got some questions in our circles group, so I'll talk a little bit about those and answer those tonight. But I am really on a energetic high. This has been a week, and one of the things that I have worked on this week is, just kind of observing what's happening in my life, in my day, moment to moment, not having judgment about it, and just allowing things to kind of flow. And so, of course, it's been, kind of like a week that has been all the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. But it brought me to this point today. In like this kind of spiritual manifestation, creation, allowing community, we talk a lot about, being the grandest, most imaginable versions of ourselves, like embodying that, living as her, moving as her, and, kind of existing as if the things that are on our vision board are already in our possession. So we are in our 3D lived experience. We are engaging and feeling, hold on, I got my little one, the little one here in the dog. So y'all hear something, that's what's happening. But we talk a lot about being that version of ourselves, being our grandest version, our next level self. You hear people say all the time. But then usually we don't really know what that entails. Like, do you just kind of go to sleep one day and you wake up and you're that person? You're moving like them or thinking like them, being them. You've embodied that person, that you version. So if you think about, I always say creation is finished. You hear people say like creation is finished. And I think what that means for me is when I think about my life, there is a version of me who is, let's say, my grandest version. She lives in peace and harmony and bliss. She's a billionaire. She is a light in the world or whatever. So that, let's just say at one end of the spectrum, that's my grandest. And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, there's a version of me who is, living under a bridge, kind of struggling, eating out of trash cans. So both of those possibilities exist. Every single day when we wake up, decisions, come into our life where we're making decisions, we're making choices. Those choices are leading us towards one of those directions, right? So you're choosing, what's coming up in front of you, and you're making a decision on, how you're going to respond. So when you start talking about, I'm going to be the grandest imaginable version of myself, I'm going to move like her, be her, live like her. Now decisions show up. You have a choice to make. Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go to the top end of the spectrum? Do I go to the bottom end of the spectrum? And so what we're trying to do is live a life that feels abundant, like the grandest version of us, but we're making decisions that are really in fear, like the kind of right now version of us. And so, how do you get to that place if you're not going to move through the shit that have you, terrified? So, years ago, probably like a decade, let's just say 10 years, I made a decision that I did not know at that time was going to change the trajectory of like my life. I started to say, every time I set like a big goal or it's something that I would love to do, fear and anxiety just show up. Almost crippling fear where I'm scared to make a decision. I worry about if I make the decision, what the consequences are going to be. But then I started saying, okay, no matter what, if I decide that this is the thing that I would love, I'm going to wake up and every decision that I make is going to take me to that place. I'm gonna be scared. I might be shaking. I might be stomach toe up, bubbling. I don't care. I'm going to make the decision and choose the answer that's taking me down the path towards that thing. And I started noticing that even when I did it afraid, even when I did it not having it all, oh, are you good? Are we good up? Okay. Even when I did it not having all of the answers, amazing things started happening. So I started saying, I wonder if all the things that I desire are on the other side of the things that I'm scared of. The decisions that I don't want to make, the things that I don't want to show up and do, the conversations that I don't want to have. The best is yet to come on the other side of that fear. But here's what happens. Our body, so this physical body that we are in, start giving us all these signals that shit don't feel safe. It don't feel safe. Like one of my coaches, she calls it like your baseline. So you don't get what you want. You basically get what your baseline will allow you to have. What I call it is like your like default temperature. So think about your preheat temperature. So when you think about an oven, you can preheat the oven to 325. And that's basically as hot as that oven is going to get unless you change the temperature and you make it and you go higher. So no matter how much you want to operate at 400 degrees, if your baseline or your default setting is at 325, when you are trying to make decisions that are 400-degree decisions, of course you're going to feel uneasy. Of course you're going to feel anxious. You don't have the programming to know yet that it's okay at 400 degrees. But what we typically do is say, okay, I don't feel good. This feels I feel nervous. I have anxiety. And then we drop the big one. That's God's way of telling me I ain't supposed to do this yet. That's my internal, intuition that's telling me not now. Don't make this decision. When it's something that you are inspired by, when it's something that you love, when it's something that you've always said you dream about this, you feel it, you think about it all the time. Anybody ask you, you can rattle it off, like it's nothing, because it is literally what lights you up. And then it's time for you to make the decision, to make the investment, to make the choice, and you start having anxiety, and you take that to be that God or whatever you believe in that's bigger than you is telling you not to move towards the thing that lights you up, inspires you, and make you feel alive. Make that make sense even to yourself. Because I think what's happening is a lot of us are in these spiritual, religious kind of bubbles. And we use these things, whether it be scriptures or memes or quotes, in order to procrastinate because we're ultimately afraid. And I'm saying it is okay to be afraid. 75% of the shit I've accomplished, I did it scared. But what you cannot be is so afraid that it paralyzes you and you won't even make a choice. I mean, think about it. I don't know if you journal. I journal. I love journals. I write all the time. Um, but how many of you, if you got your journal out from 3, 4 years ago, it's something that you've written every single year in there that you still have not allowed into your physical reality? Let's just think about resolutions, New Year's resolutions. My birthday is this month, the 20th. And so my birthday is normally what I consider my new year. I don't wait until January. I say, okay, I just had a birthday. This is my new year. How many things have you written year after year? And Facebook done got so damn disrespectful that it pop up a memory where you wrote a post. This is the year I'm gonna do da 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 da, and it says 7 years ago, and you still aren't doing it. How do you think it's going to actually happen? How do you think you're going to get it? Like in your mind, you think if you just cry about it long enough, you're gonna get it? You think if you write it down long enough, you're going to get it? You think if you vision board it and journal it and affirmations, I am rich, I am healthy, you're gonna just wake up and have it? There is an inspired action that we have to take that embodies this life that you're saying that you want. So the version of you who's healthy, tell me some of the things that she does differently than the person right now does. Does she not eat chips and drink sodas? When you see her, I am healthy. What does she do? Who is she being to be as healthy as you see her when you think about her in this next timeline of yours? So you're going to sit here in October of 2025 and take no action to embody and be the version of you that you see in your mind. That woman that you see that is the healthiest she's ever been. She's at peace. She is glowing. She is thriving. You just going to keep writing it in your journal. Keep cutting out pictures on your vision board. Keep going to church and praying about it. And then you just going to wake up and it's going to be here without you having to face any of the fears, without you having to move towards the things that light you up, without you having to make choices as if the life that you would love is already here. If you had the life that you see in your mind, that's on your vision board, that you write in your journal, what things would you be doing differently right now if you were already living that life? How would you make decisions differently? So the trick that I have learned in my life, and maybe it's not a trick, I don't know. I ask myself, okay, if I already had it, how would I answer this question? What decision would I make? So money is a very tangible, example to use because we can all think of it. A dollar is a dollar usually across all the spectrum. So I like to use that as an example because we can all kind of wrap our mind around the example and get the point. If the version of you who is like living her grandest life was making $10,000 a month, and maybe right now you're only making $5,000 a month, what things would she be doing differently than you are doing right now? Okay, example. She pulls up to the gas station. She's putting gas in her car. She's making $10,000 a month, which is $5,000 more than the actual current you is realizing in her bank account. Does she look at the gas prices and complain? Gas, $3.50 a gallon. Oh my God. Or does it feel easy to just fill up her car and go on her way? But what do you do? What did you do today when you filled up your car? When you filled it up, were you embodying the version of you who is making the $10,000 a month, who feels like it's easy to fill up her car? Or did you look at the gas prices and instantly you thought how high they were? It's a ripoff. It cost me this much money to fill up my car. And you literally kind of complained like a person who doesn't believe she has enough money to take care of her expenses or the things that she wants to experience. Because your conversation and how you speak tells me a lot about if you truly are living and being as the version of you who you believe already has it. Or are you hoping, wishing, praying that you wake up one day and you making $10,000 a month, and once you start making it, then you'll stop complaining about the cost of gas? I wish that that's kind of how it worked, but usually you attract and allow basically on the frequency that you believe that. So if I don't believe that I can have a $10,000 month, how likely is it that I'm going to create that for myself? I mean, yeah, I guess even people who win the lottery on some level believe that they could win, or why would they even play? They didn't go in there playing like, I'm just gonna play this little scratch off. I don't never win. Nobody ever wins. And like, why play? If you gonna do it from that energy, why even do it? But how many of you, move that way, in your day-to-day life? I wrote some stuff down because this came through to me this morning when I was kind of meditating about this. When you choose to do it scared, but you do it, when you let your intuition guide your decision. And your intuition, when I say my intuition, it is the energetics that I feel that's telling me go towards that dream. Like, yes, you can have it, Nekeya. Push. You got it. Go. Not the bubble guts because I'm scared to commit to the thing that I said that I wanted because I don't know how it's going to play out. That's my nervous system. That's like my physical body. I'm talking about I know that I know that I know it's going to be good. It's going to work out. And I move towards that, even when I feel fear and anxiousness or anxiety. What are you anxious about right now? What do you feel fear around? That if you take a step towards it, the best days of your life are on the other side of that decision. But yet and still, you just will not do it because that fear feels crippling. And then we wrap it up in these very spiritually profound sounding narratives that allow us to just not move forward. One of the ones that used to come forward for me is, oh, well, God is humbling me right now. Or it's not the timing for it. Or I need to wait a little bit longer. Because truthfully, the audacity of us waiting for a time outside of now is diabolical. Like, you really believe you got tomorrow. You really believe you got an hour from now. Like the audacity to think that I have tomorrow when it's something in front of me that I would love to do today, but I'm afraid to do it. So I put it off as if I have tomorrow. I mean, I don't know how many people went to sleep last night thinking they had today, but they didn't. And a lot of their dreams and a lot of things that they hoped and wished for died with them. So really now, this very moment is all we have. I know people like to do a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, but in actuality, that's wishful thinking, to say the least. What are you putting off until tomorrow that you can make a decision to do today? And it's lighting you up and you want to do it, but you're afraid. And you're not going to get less and less afraid. The fear when we don't make these decisions and move forward, it just gets bigger. It just gathers more data as to why you shouldn't do it. especially if you're not doing things to become aware of what's going on within you. If you are not doing things to make sure you stay feeling connected to spirit, and that's your GPS. Because one of the things that came through for me, my coach was talking about this, and she was talking about fear and faith. They're both invisible energy that run your life in some way. Fear is the invisible energy that convinces you that everything bad you could think of that you don't want to happen will happen if you make that choice. Faith, on the other hand, is the invisible energy that convinces you that everything good that you do want to happen will happen if you make that choice. And even a step further, faith and surrender says, I don't really give a damn what happens because I know it's always going to work out for me. That's like a next level. So if you can't see fear and you can't see faith, why is it that fear is usually what leads your decision making? In the community, somebody asked me, okay, so what if I am, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me pull, I just want to read the question. What if I have 5 or 6 things that I've been writing in my journal and on my vision board, and at the exact same time, all 5 things or opportunities are presenting themselves to me? And my answer is, it's always one thing that you love a little more than the other one, like 1 through 5. It ain't usually ever 2 things that's 1 and 1. And if you look at the things that you are saying are all like in sync, they like in sync coming at the same time. One is, oh my God, if I wake up and I am being that version of me who already has this amazing life, I'm picking this. That's one. So I'm moving toward what inspires me, what lights me up, what I love, what brings me bliss, what gives me joy. The other ones are usually, okay, if I do this, it's going to allow me to do some other stuff. If I don't do this, one of the examples that I used was, okay, my sister is here visiting from out of town. Oh, I got to go to work tomorrow, but I really, really, really would love to stay here and have some time. Hold on, I got another question that popped through. I really, really, really would love to stay here, stay home, and just enjoy my sister today. It's like just the thought of it is lighting me up. Here go that mind. Yeah, but they giving out overtime at work. And you need to go get that overtime because you got to pay that bill. And if you don't pay that bill, your phone gonna get cut off. And if your phone get cut off, boom, 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 boom. So now I'm like, okay, well, I did pray for some overtime. See how I just did that? I made the overtime seem spiritual because I prayed for the overtime. And now we got overtime on the job. But if I check in and say, what would I really love? I would love to be here and spend this last day with my sister before she flies back out and just relax and be. I never do this. I never take off time. She's home. She's here in town. And I would love to just spend time with her. But instead, I'm going to choose to go to work because I need that overtime because I got to pay a bill. And I ultimately go to work. And the ripple effect of what happens could be, 3 times I almost snapped, crackled, and popped on somebody because I really don't want to be here. I really don't want to be on this job today. I would have loved to have been home. But why didn't you choose that? Because the fear that's connected to not going to work is that somehow you're not going to be able to provide. But let's just play. Let's go down this little rabbit hole a little bit. What if I just chose to stay home with my sister and we sat and we vibed and we went and had brunch and we hung out and we brainstormed and, oh my God, a business idea came up. Or she says, sis, I was going to surprise you with this, but girl, I got a lump sum that came in and I want to give you a little blessing. And now it's twice what you would have made with the overtime. We don't even consider it. We don't even consider what would happen if we choose from a place of what would I love. You know what people, when I say this to people, what they think? Oh yeah, Nekeya, you can choose what you love because like you financially set. And it's like, you really think financially set based on what? You know what, if I calculated a monetary amount on my dreams and my goals and what I would love, I don't physically have it in my wallet right now. Faith is faith, whether it's $1 billion faith or $100 faith. If you don't choose yourself when you got $100, don't think for 1 second when you have more money that you will choose what you love. Because now the pressure running businesses and companies and having employees, you don't think the pressure mounts even more if you don't have something that tethers you to spirit and you know that it always works out because you got enough shit written down that should have broke you but didn't. And so now nothing can break that. Nothing can break you waking up and saying, what would I love? And expecting when I choose from that place, the ripple effect is going to be more abundant than if I would have done the thing that was attached to what I felt like I had to do. Evaluate your life. Like, let's say we only have a finite amount of time in these physical bodies. How much of that time are you spending doing shit that you really don't want to do? And you feel like you ain't got no choice. You would tell people, girl, I got to do this because I got my mortgage, I got my kids, as if there is nothing within you that is going to create opportunities that lights you up, inspires you, and pay you. Because you've never even considered choosing from that place. But until you start thinking about the life you love to live and move as if you're already in it, that is what embodiment means. Not just vision boarding, not just journaling, not getting up, meditating and praying and going to church and going to temple and all the things. When the decision time comes, where do you make a decision from? From fear? I got to do this because if I don't, this is going to happen. Or faith? I get to do this and it always works out. And test it. Just test it. Just keep doing it. And you build that knowing. You build that certainty. You build that confidence. But every time you are faced with a decision, if you make it from fear and worry, how are you embodying that version of you that you can see in your mind? You can feel her. She feels just slightly out of reach. The life of peace, the life of less worry, the life of just knowing it's always going to work out for me, the life that feels luxurious and abundant. And not just because you have luxurious things, that's nice too. But there is a feeling that when the world is on fire, we just kind of looking like, what, who, what? That's bliss. Bliss is being so caught up in choosing your joy and your happiness that you are oblivious to what everybody complaining about. You are oblivious to what's going on that got everybody going crazy because you are just choosing to just be light, to just keep choosing the path that feels like light instead of fear. But we don't, do we? I'm just going to keep praying about it. What about the works? The faith without the works. And the works in this case is decisions come up and I'm going to choose through faith. Just knowing. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, okay, Nekeya, if I choose this and then and this don't go through and then I lose the contract and I don't have no money and they come kick me out the house and I live under that and went all the way down the rabbit hole. Okay, and that's the worst thing that could happen. You still alive. You still in your body. You just hit the bottom and that's the worst. So I'm going to choose from a place of fear because I believe that that's going to stop me from hitting my rock bottom. And that's what I'm afraid of. That don't even make sense. Because ultimately, you in peril. You unhappy. You feel sad. You're in dis-ease. Your body breaking down. You ain't resting. See, fear comes with a multitude of entanglements. It's not just fear in your mind. Shit just it goes through you when you're always worried and afraid about something. So you may as well kind of pick the thing that gives you joy, because in the end, oh, let me read the question. In the end, like you don't know if you get a do-over. Okay, let me see what we got. How do you make decisions from like the 7-figure her, if the bank account does not show that? So this is exactly what we're talking about. So there is a place in time where your bank account says that. So let's just put a pin in that. Can we agree that if you feel and believe that you are a 7-figure, woman, you have a business that's earning 7 figures, that is coming through you, because somewhere that is it, that exists. So let's just say that's truth. How does the 7-figure you move? How does she think? How does she dress? How does she speak? How does she walk? What's her favorite color? When you close your eyes and you see her, how's her hair? So it's the simple little things that I do. Listen, this is a game. It began to be a game for me. I started saying, when I am a millionaire, I'm going to do, and I made a little list of things. And every single day that I woke up, I did things as close as I could to the things that was on my list. So let me just give you an example. I said, when I am a millionaire, I am going to fly first class to Vegas every weekend. Now, I don't even really care about Vegas like that, but I just picked something that felt extravagant and big back then, right? So when I look at my bank account, maybe I got $500 in it. So I'm saying, when I'm a 7-figure woman, I'm going to fly to Vegas every weekend, first class. In order to fly to Vegas every weekend, first class, what's one thing that I can do now that's moving me in that direction, that don't cost me nothing? I can log onto my computer and I can look for flights to Vegas in first class, leaving on Friday, coming back on Sunday. Because if you're saying I'm a 7-figure woman and here's the things that I'm going to do when that is tangible in my bank account, but you don't even wake up and log on and look at flights, you are already telling me that you ain't even embodying that. What kind of things is this 7-figure? Because if you're not going to start to do it until you see 7 figures in your bank account, you can do that. The first 15 years of my life, my first few million was through hustle and grind. You work enough hours for enough days, you can make the money. But what ended up happening for me was, I had money, but I was unhappy. I was sad. I felt unfulfilled. I remember I used to say, if I came home from work, slipped and fell in my shower, it would probably be a week before anybody found me. I didn't have kids back then. I didn't have no husband back then. So I did not feel the fulfillment. The way that I choose to live now is aligning with my highest self, allowing that life, and it gets to feel easy. Because I'm not working another 80 hours. Like, you listen, you ain't getting a 60-hour week out of me ever again, because I know now that it does not require that. So let's just say another thing you say is, oh, I see the 7-figure version of me, and she loves the color red. She wears her red lipstick. She wears her red shoes, whatever. And I come to your house right now, you don't even own red shoes. You don't even put on red lipstick. It's the simple things. If you are embodying this version of you, what that means is, I'm going to move like her, act like her, be like her, think like her, speak like her. I'm going, like, and some people say, stay in the delusion. Like Delulu is the Salulu. Like that means I don't see that shit yet, but you can't stop me from moving, acting, and being like I already got it. Because technically, it's just an energy. Let me give you an example, and so you'll know that it is an energy. So I give you a check for $10 million. And you probably heard people say this before because I've been saying it for a long time. I give you a check for $10 million. You take that check to your bank and they say, "Thank you, Mrs. Jones. We appreciate your deposit. Because of the size of the deposit, we're going to release $1,000, but we're going to hold the other $9,999,000 for 10 days. On the 10th day, it'll be released to you." Now you walk out of that bank with $1,000 of that money. But how you moving? How you feel? You feel like a $10 million woman. Now you ain't got none of that money. That money is not available to you for 10 more days. So tell me how you got the energy and the feeling to move like a $10 million woman. But when you log onto your bank account, it ain't even on there yet. You got $1,000 that's available in that bank account. So you're telling me in them 10 days, anything could happen to you. You may never get to spend it. The bank, and the way the world going, the bank might collapse and go under, and all that money is just gone. And I want to say it's only insured up to about 250,000, maybe 150,000, depending on what kind of account you got. So all that money is gone. But from day 1 through 10, you floating. Nothing can bring you down. Where does that come from? It can't be because the money is in the bank, because it's not. It's the knowing that in 10 days, that money will be available to me. You telling me you can't wake up every day and muster up the knowing that I am this woman before you see it? You can do it, because we do it all the time. That's the faith part. Because if you telling me I'm only going to feel, move, and be a 7-figure woman when I log onto my bank account and I see 7 figures in there, then basically that's not the faith part. So that's how you do it. You decide who she is. You decide how she moves. You decide how she speaks, how she thinks, how she talks, how she dresses, how you get to create this person down to the favorite color. And every day you wake up, you say, I'm going to move and be as she, because I am her. So if somebody is at the red, you at the red light and they blow the horn, bah! How does she respond to that? What does she do? Like, you're aware and you're asking yourself, how does that version of me? And you keep doing this to the point, so much so that it becomes how you are being. So now you are an energetic match for the things that you say she has, does, be, even if it's a 7-figure thing, even if it's a 7-figure, business or whatever. Because when I don't even want to blow y'all mind, but you do know that money, wealth, and riches do not have to be a condition of work. See, that's just what they kind of told us. That's a belief system, that the only way you get money is you got to get out here and work, grind, hustle. You got to have a business. One of my coaches told me the story about a lady who she coaches that don't even have a business and got $1 million come into her life a couple of months ago through some inheritance of somebody that she didn't even know, wasn't even close with. They ended up leaving her something when they died. So she was a vibrational match for allowing $1 million into her life. Nobody ever said you had to work for it, unless that's what you believe, that the only way money comes to me is I got to grind and work and hustle for it. Then that's the way it'll come. I have so much coming into my life right now that I don't have a invoice that I sent out for. Because now when you are on a wealth a luxury, a vibrational frequency, everything in that same frequency attaches itself to you. Whether you are working for it, somebody just said, I just want to bless you with this. Oh, you on my mind. I want to give you this. I mean, one of my friends a couple of weeks ago, I came back from when I found a retreat space. She just said, grab a bag. I'm coming to get you. She came to my house, parked her car. I'm like, what's going on? A limo, a black SUV came and picked us up. And she took me for a day. We went to the sauna. We did a cold plunge. We had lunch. And I was just like, oh my God, because I'm open to receiving good things from people, unexpected, because they thought about me, because that's who I am. I do that all the time. But I've been a person who did it all the time, but never was a receiver of it because I really didn't like for people to give me stuff. I gave a lot, but when people tried to give me something, I'd be like, no, 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 no. And so I recalibrated my energy and said, I would love to receive. I would love to receive without having to ask. People support me. They love me. People love to give things to me because I'm a giver. They love to reciprocate that energy back. And I had no idea what she was doing. And we had an amazing day. And she packed me a little bag with like wraps and scarves and journals and really good writing pens. And I was just like, wow, thank you. This is amazing. And I celebrated that. And I was like, I was just overwhelmed with it because I was a match. I am a match now to receive things from people the same way that I give. Are you a match for a 7-figure life? A woman who is worth 7 figures, does she second guess purchasing something big or small that lights her up? I shouldn't spend no money on that. Does she say that? No, she probably don't. If she feels inspired to give, something might come across on Facebook. I do this kind of stuff all the time. Might be a GoFundMe. I don't even know the people. Something tweaks in my like, okay, give something to that. And I do. Complete stranger. And one of my friends like, girl, you don't even know them people. Okay, I'm a $1 billion woman. I'm embodying if I'm a $1 billion woman, I give to every good cause that I desire to give to, whether I know them or not. That's not a factor. So where are you a contradiction to the life that you're saying you love to live, that you believe your highest, most grandest version of you, when you embody that, is already living? So where are you where are you contradicting that at? If I'm worth 7 figures, when I'm gonna stop complaining about the cost of stuff? When I got it in the bank? Or once you embody that, you're attracted to the bank even faster. So that's the answer. What we want to just say, I'm just gonna pray. And prayer is beautiful. I pray all day. I'm always in prayer, thought, devotion, connection, just in love with sugar. But not from a place of, I want you to give me something. From a place of, I'm just grateful that I get to do this shit. I get to actually be here. I'm actually here living this life. I'm grateful for all the things. So when you look at the things on your vision board, when you look at the things that you have journaled, where are you not even a match for that shit at? Where are you not a match? If you drove the most expensive car you can think of, would you get it washed every week? Would you get it detailed every week? Would you keep it nice inside? I mean, just, I'm going to honor this because it's mine and I'm going to keep it nice. Okay, put a pin in that. What about the car you drive now? How you talk about your car? Is it junky? Is it this piece of shit? Every time I get in this, I'm going to break down on this. I mean, couldn't you easily look at the car that you have now and treat it like the version of you who drives whatever kind of car you'd imagine treats that car? Or are you only going to treat your car with gratitude for it providing you with transportation when it's the one that you want? Everything else just a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like so where are we contradicting the life that we say that we want to live? And then feeling frustrated because it's not manifesting in our right now experience. The life you living right now is your creation and manifestation of what you believe you capable of. So if you don't like it, if it feels hard and like a struggle, there's some fear-based decisions that you're making. It's the only way this works. There are some beliefs. Your default temperature go crazy when you try to get to 400 because you set at 275. And when good things start happening, your first inclination is, this ain't gonna last. You sabotage it in some way. Sometimes you own the frequency and things come and they present themselves and you so happy. Oh my God, I got this opportunity. But if you ain't careful, what happens? That version of you who can't hold it, show up and fuck it up every time. Whether it's relationships, businesses, opportunities, friends. So if you want to have and experience the life that feels amazing to you, you got to move and be in your day-to-day with the way you think, the way you make decisions, the way you talk, the way you make other people feel. It has to be in alignment with what you're saying you love. Because if you ain't picking from what you love, you picking from what you think you got to do. And if you picking from what you think you got to do, it's attached to what you scared of if you don't do it, which is fear. So, oh, here you go. Hold on, y'all. A little bit in here. You got it? Hold on. There it is. Look, reach up under the table and grab it. All right. So that was my cheat code. I identified how I thought I would move, think, and be once I got to whatever that amount was, that vision of me was. And I started to be her even then, a decade ago. So when the money started to come, it wasn't crazy because I already was moving like the money was there. I was already acting like the money was there. I was already making decisions. And it's people who know me. I can think back to before I had millions. I was buying people cars in my family. I was helping people with how, like, this is when I just had, like, I was making regular, like, one bad deal and you could be back struggling if you know. But I moved like that. People in my family can say right now that that's the truth. I was the go-to person that they would call. And I said, my $100 million me, she moves this way. She does these things. And I, on a smaller scale, but to the best of my ability in that moment, I was moving like that already. I was already doing it. So what are you waiting for? To be the grandest, most imaginable version of you when you embody her, moving like her, talking like her, thinking like her. I don't know how she would think. Well, she you. You do know how she would think. You get to decide it. There's nobody to tell you how $100 million person acts. You get to decide how she'd act. Maybe your $100 million version, listen to Cardi B, I'm the drama, and twerk on the table in the conference room. Like, who cares? As long as you embody it. You get to make it be whatever you want it to be. Just embody it. Be it. Move as it. Be her. First you be. Then you do. then you have. See, y'all want to do, have, then be. You can get it that way. That's the hustle route. That usually leads to burnout, stress, anxiety, sadness, depression. But the be, do, have, that's the path of peace, of luxury, of comfort, of happiness, of joy, of bliss. Because I'm waking up every day doing what the hell I want to do and knowing that it is leading me to that grandest picture, right? So be, do, have, or do, have, then be. That's what you asking. How do I be when I don't see? Because you got to see it and you got to feel it. Nobody right now can tell you when you go outside and get into your car that ain't the car that you imagine it to be. You want to know how I know? Because I used to drive a 1991 Acura Legend. Drove it for years. I actually ended up giving it to my brother and he blew the damn motor up in it in 3 months. Ain't put no oil in it or whatever. It was already an old car. But when I got into my little Acura, you couldn't tell me I wasn't in my Mercedes. I always said, I want a Mercedes. I would love a Mercedes. I saw myself driving a Mercedes. I cut out a Mercedes sign, the symbol, and taped it to my steering wheel on my Acura. See, this way back in the day before anybody had ever taught me about like manifestation and mindset. I just said, I'm going to put it there because when I look at that symbol, I'm going to feel like I'm in my Mercedes. But who can tell me that I'm not? You might say, girl, that ain't no Mercedes. That's the Acura. Nope, it's a Mercedes. No, it's not. It's an Acura. It is a Mercedes. You can't tell me it ain't no Mercedes. I kept it clean. I treated it like it was a Mercedes. Now I have 3 Mercedes. This is what I'm saying. But I wasn't, my nervous system didn't go crazy when I bought my first Mercedes. Why didn't it go crazy and make me feel like, oh my God, you don't deserve this. You shouldn't have this. Oh, what are people going to think? Why didn't it? Because for years before that, I was already driving a Mercedes. Now, what you might have saw was an Acura. I saw a Mercedes, and you couldn't tell me no different. This is the delusion that you need to be in when you are embodying that version of you that has the life that you'd love to live. That's the delusion I'm talking about. Because nobody can tell you what something is or what something is not. You get to decide that. You can look at your bank account right now and see $100 in there and say, "Whoo, I got $100,000 in the bank," and move and literally conjure up the energy of what that feels like. And somebody might be like, "Girl, that ain't $100. That's $100. Girl, I don't know what you see. You must be don't see them other 3 zeros. That's $100,000." And move like it. Oh, I'm finna go down here and look at me some new bed linen in William and Sonoma. Well, I think they got pots. I don't know what they said. I don't know. No, Restoration Hardware. I'm going to look at some new furniture. With $100 in the bank, I got $100,000 in the bank. Like, you get to create the energetics. And if you sitting here saying, yeah, but that feel like a lie. Okay, well, then the other way to get it is to grind it out until you see it. But I'm just trying to teach you the energetics of being. And then making decisions from that energy. Because if you don't, you'll keep making decisions from what you can, your 5 senses, what I can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. And those are all attached to like your human. Where sugar get to operate in that? Because if you only believe what you see, then where's the faith? Because faith, and not even to be on a religious part, faith is the substance of things that you hope for when you don't see the evidence of it. But if you only gonna trust what you see, then you basically telling me that you ain't never gonna be able to step out and embody something until you actually see it. And that's kind of like the reverse way of manifesting. To me, it feels harder. And I've done both. Took me 17 years to build a brand to $50 million. And then 6 years to build a brand to $20 million. Doing nothing almost, like except what I loved. doing this, teaching, talking, conferences, doing retreats and traveling all over the world, and didn't even feel like work because I was moving towards what I loved. So you can say, I'm doing all the things. I'm taking the master classes, Kia. I'm in the community. I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm journaling, I'm praying, and all my desires are showing up. But if any of those desires are attached to your fear of failing at something, losing something, or not being able to do something, it's still in fear. No matter how pretty you try to spiritually wrap it, you're not moving in faith. Because if you were, you'd say, I'm doing what I want to do. And I know all that's going to work out too. Because it always works out. I'm going to do what I want first. And then all these things are going to align, because that's what I'm going to stand on. That's what I believe. In these last 5 minutes, I want to just let y'all know I'm so excited. I love y'all so much. And I do this because I truly do want to see a time when women of color, melanated women are just saying, like, this shit is supposed to feel this easy for us. Like, it ain't always got to be attached to hustle and grind. We get to have this life and it feels this good just because we exist, not for any other reason. And so my Bliss retreat, it launches, it starts, it's October 16th through the 20th in Napa Valley, California. We are in this amazing, beautiful mansion in a vineyard tucked away in some mountains. And we literally have 2 spaces left. And it has turned out to be the most amazing turn of events. I had another location that I was going to do like some overflow in. I actually went out there 2 weeks ago and stayed in that space and was like, oh, hell no. Ain't nothing about this feel like the luxury that I want. Like half of them going to be in this mansion. Like, wow. Then the other half going to be over here in whatever that was that catfished us on the internet and shit. So it ended up where I was able to upgrade all of my attendees to VIP. And I got so many special things for the women who are going to attend. And the women who are attending, they chose this. They wanted to be here. They created this space for this time. And so I know that it is going to be amazing because we all are on the same energetics. Oh, I know what I wanted to close with, because I had said this earlier in one of the questions that I asked. Somebody asked me, okay, so what happens if you're afraid to make a decision? You got all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. You trying to embody this next level you, and she would make the decision. She would invest that $100 into getting some facial. But I normally just wash my face with soap, and I'm afraid to invest that $100. But I make myself do it. I do it afraid. And the whole time the lady doing my face, I'm complaining. Oh my God. Oh, I don't like the way that smell. Oh, that hurt. Why that light so bright? You know what? Listen, the embodiment is not just about taking the action afraid. Like you spent the money, you invested in the thing, you took the trip, you did whatever, right? Because you saying that's what that version of me would do. It's also about speaking, thinking, and being. Would she be laying down there getting $100 facial, complaining the whole time? Because the only reason that you complaining is because you didn't want to spend that money. And you feeling triggered because you spent it. And you almost feel like you were forced to spend it. If you are making decisions from that place saying, well, I'm embodying her, I'm doing it while I'm afraid, I still did it. Yeah, but the attitude and the energy in which you do some shit matters. It's like fixing somebody else. Will you fix me a plate? Sure. And you throw the plate on the table. And you know what? Don't worry about it. I don't even want it. Matter of fact, I'm not even hungry anymore. Because the way you do things also need to be the embodiment of that next level you. Because if you had 7 figures in the bank and you paid $100 for a facial, that's probably money out the bottom of your purse. That wasn't no big spend for you. So you laying down there just enjoying the facial. But if you got $125 to your name and you spend that $100 grudgingly because I'm trying to embody this next level version of me, and she would get the $100 facial. So I'ma just spend the money on it. And the whole time you down there, it's almost like you getting a damn root canal with no anesthesia. Just don't do it. Because you're still in fear and anxiety and in worry. But now you angry because you feel like you were forced to have to invest that because that version of you would have invested it, but you don't truly want to be doing it. Just don't. Anything you're going to do in that energy, I would say, don't do it. Stay where you're comfortable at and keep working on building that muscle of faith, building that muscle of knowing, building that muscle of embodiment, and then step. If you ever build it, if you ever get comfortable enough, if you ever get certain enough, or if you ever just stop giving fucks and say, I'm going to do it because I'm going to go for what I deserve, desire, and would love, whichever comes first. But don't be a person who does something and now you hate that you did it and you complain and nag and because that is literally like a buzzkill. That you ever had that friend who went on a trip and she really didn't want to go on the trip, but everybody already say, well, girl, every time we plan a trip and we invite you, you always flake out on us, and everybody kind of know you gonna flake out. So to prove them wrong, you go. But the whole trip, they wish you just would have stayed your ass home because all you did is complain. You brought the vibe down. Next time, they ain't even going to invite you. So don't be that, because that's not embodying. Yeah, you took the action, which might have been the investment to take the trip, but your attitude while you was on the trip was just like that old version of you. You never embodied that version of you who could have easily taken that trip. And she was so happy that she did. And she was lit up and she had fun and she was the life of the party and everybody loved her around. So they go hand in hand. Because I know sometimes people will, oh, I'm trying to embody, so I got to, okay, no, you don't. Because you've been like this for as long as you've been like this. You've been on this hamster wheel of struggle or whatever it is, as long as you've been on it. So don't jump off now trying to prove something to other people that you getting off. Stay on another year, another 10 years. It doesn't matter. It's not good or bad. It just is. But don't try to do things if you really don't have the alignment to take that step. Because now you out here with an attitude, beating everybody mad, trying to find this facial wasn't worth no $100. Girl, she ain't even wipe all the stuff out. Like you finding every little thing about it to complain about, because the truth of the matter is you did not truly want to make that investment, to spend that money, to be in that program, to get that facial, to go on that trip, or whatever it is. And so you're never going to be happy or in bliss with that decision, because it was not made from true embodiment. It was made because, the fear of what my friends gonna say if I flake out the last minute like I always do. And they already told me when we start making the payment plan to do the cruise, girl, you always flake out at the last month. You don't never go. So now it's the last month and everything in me want to flake out, but they already called me out. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then I'm going to make everybody's trip feel horrible, because you are literally just going to be like a wet blanket on a damn fire. They're going to, the next year, we damn sure ain't even going to invite you. And so make sure you're making these decisions from a place of bliss. Like, this is what I would love. Yes, it feels scary, but I would love it. So I'm going to do it. Not, this is what I would love, but shit, I ain't got the money and da-da-da-da-da. And okay, just don't do it. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Just delete the story of what you think people going to say if you don't choose to do it, and just keep it moving. So the Bliss Retreat is almost officially sold out. It's actually one spot remaining, maybe two, because I have two people who are going who said they may want to like bunk together, like, in the same room, which might free up that other room. But if not, if they get separate, if they want to be in separate rooms, and we will only have the one available. So it is going to be October 16th through the 20th. It is going to be in Napa Valley. We are going to do, all of you will get to do some one-on-one, just kind of, I call it dream mapping with me, where we're going to push through all these limits. We're going to literally talk through how crazy it sounds when you actually say it out, so that we can increase your default temperature or your nervous system or your baseline, so that you can carry and allow the very things that you are hoping, praying, wishing, journaling, and vision boarding for. Because if not, we don't want the old sabotager to show up, and just when things start to feel like they are elevating and getting good, that old way of thinking comes and you beat it back down, because you got to go back to that baseline, that default temperature. No matter what, you'll set yourself right back down to it if you don't create the awareness and the space, I call it, to be able to carry it. And yeah, we're going to be, I went and did the wine train in Napa. It's a 3-hour beautiful, the food was so good, like a lunch train, and you're going through vineyards and they kind of talking to you about all of it. I met the new general manager, or I think he's the president guy who's over kind of running it now. It was a whole vibe. I went the day after Supa. I think Supa was there the day before me, because I saw she had posted it. She's talked about the food, and I went in and we ate this. Oh, it was so good. So she definitely gave it a really good review. And then I gave it a review after that. So we're going to do that amongst a lot of other things. Just beautifully crafted luxury, where you are going to come, and all the women who are going to be there are going to be a version of you too. So we all understand, we speak the same language. It's a safe space to dream. And we add jet fuel to the dream. Like, it's a space where we are all equipped to just kind of cheer you on and to give you steps and ways to embody and allow that life to just kind of unfold. It's beautiful. Like, life is good. Like, it's good. Yes, love. I'm almost done. I'm closing down right now. Okay, go and get one off the dresser, baby. So yeah, I got the munchkin here who's talking about her head hurt and she need a blow pop. So I don't know when a blow pop started curing headaches, but well, okay. So yes, babes, all is well. Join my community. It's this girl, what else I'm gonna say? The Savage Suites, our online community. So you'll be the first to know what we're launching. I think I will be doing some international travel right after the retreat. So much is going on, and I want y'all to be a part of it, because you know what? A rising tide raise all boats. So get in this. And thank you, Eb. I think we gonna close up now. But if you have any questions that come up after this, drop them in our online chat community. Because listen, the Bliss Retreat is going to be the 16th through the 20th. But in the Bliss Method course, see, this is the immersion, the retreat, and the course is the, it's like it's the slope, the drip, it's going to continue what we're going to start at the retreat. So I'm excited. I'm creating. I am just, you know what I mean? Look, it's all good. So y'all let me know if you have any questions, any comments, drop it in the chat, and I will see you next week, I think. Same time, same place. All right. I love y'all. The Bliss Retreat is only a retreat by name. It's actually a portal. The Bliss Retreat is only a retreat by name. It's actually a portal. A portal for the woman who's built the brands, got the degrees, and climbed the ladder. You've been everything for everybody. And if you look way back, it's been that way since forever. Everybody sees the powerhouse, the wins, and the shine. But behind that glow up, there's a constant ache that they don't see. There's a whisper in your spirit that's saying, I did all this and I still don't feel whole. Because you weren't really chasing the bag. You were chasing the feeling that you thought the bag would bring. But what your soul is craving